Please, these braces, y'all, they are still new. So if I'm talking funny, I have only had these braces on for 5-6 days. It's almost been a week, so I still talk funny, I still eat funny. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Okay. Hey, this is my book channel. This is probably going to be my first video I put out. So anyways, before I continue, what's up? My name is Milan. If you do not know, I really like to read. I got into reading this year, not because of TikTok, actually, believe it or not. This video might go up a hot minute from now. Right now it is Monday, August 9th. It is about to be 3 o'clock. This might go up in the month of May. Might go up next year. I do not know. But I started reading not too long ago. Just a little brief rundown for those who care. My best friend and we went to the beach one day. She wanted me to go to Barnes & Noble with her. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'm down. I don't read, but I'll go. We're together. If you want a book, I got you. I will go with you. So we pulled up, we went in there, and I was really deep into spirituality. I am a spiritual person, but at this point in my life, I was really into it. So I got a manifestation book there, and I was like, oh girl, I like this. Then I went and I went to Barnes & Noble a couple times after that because I really liked the store, and I was always in the spiritual self-growth section. And then I gravitated towards fiction, and my first fiction book was a book my friend let me borrow because I was at her house, and she was like, oh my gosh, you're into reading, because I was telling her. She offered me that book. It was a fiction book, and ever since then I've just been all into reading. It is safe to say my best friend put me on to reading, but who really put me on to reading, at least put me onto the books that I like to read, which are fiction, I'd say that goes to my other friend. So yeah, anyways, that's how I started reading, and ever since then I have not stopped. Yeah, I will be showing you guys the books that I read in the month of, I do not know what month, but you will see in the title. I definitely read these books all in different months, but I'm not going to say the books I read in May and in June and in August and in September. Like, no. So I will just pick a month for the title, probably whatever month I'm uploading this in. I really like romance, I like thriller, I like psychological fiction. I don't have as many books that are specifically dedicated to spirituality. I have maybe 3, maybe 4. All my other books are fiction. Also, I will be doing disclaimers before I spoil a book in any videos on my channel, and I will be giving trigger warnings if there's addiction or abuse or anything like that. Some people find that as a spoiler. I personally can see that that is a spoiler. Almost every book I have read, I did not know what I was going into. I went into it blind, which is actually the best way to go into books, in my opinion. With these videos, I will not say that a book is friends to lovers or enemies to lovers, because to me that is also a spoiler. I will put that in after I say I am about to spoil a part of the book, and I will put timestamps of when I start to spoil something and when I end to spoil it, so you can skip it. Last thing before I get into it with my reviews, I like to be very diverse with my reviews. So first, I'll give my honest and pure, most accurate rating I possibly can. Along with that, like I said, I like being diverse, and so I'm also going to give you guys ratings from other people. I have a Goodreads account, and I like to read other people's reviews. I'll let you guys know the main issues that people talk about or voice about a book, and then I will also separately let you guys know my review, and my review will always come first. Always. That is a little bit just to get you guys in the know of how this channel is going to work. I'm going to start with my favorite book. My favorite book of all time. It got big because of TikTok. The author is a female. She's white. And yeah, she writes YA romances. She wrote a thriller. Okay, that was enough time. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This book right here is legitimately my favorite book ever. This story follows the girl named Lily. First of all, this is not a spoiler, but her name is something so cheesy. I didn't find it cheesy, but once somebody said that it's cheesy, I was like, oh, it is. Her whole name, Lily Blossom Bloom. Those are all flowers, if you didn't notice. Like that, like, bruh. but I think it was intended to be cheesy. Lily, she does not like her business job, so she tries to get her own business going, and it takes you through that process. You find out if it works out or not. In that process, she meets somebody. His name is Riley. I would say, in my opinion, this is not a romance. I can see how it is, and there are parts that could be considered romance, but the book in general, not a romance, and that is debatable. That is definitely arguable, but most people say that this is also not a romance. I don't know, I'd say YA, and it is a fiction book, and I will get into that because to me this is not fiction. She has a relationship with Riley. She has lots of thoughts about him, and she also has thoughts about Atlas, which was her first love. Years go by after her first love. She's with Riley, and then somehow, some way, Atlas reappears. Her first love reappears, and it just goes from there. That is all I'm going to say without spoiling anything. Everything I just said is in the synopsis. I will not be reading the synopsis because I really do not like synopsis. I will read 2 sentences max in a synopsis, and if it does not resonate with me, I will not read it. I do not like knowing anything going into books. I really do think they put too much information in every book. That is just my conviction. If you want to read the synopsis, I will type it out and put it at the end once I'm done talking about the book. So I say this is a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5. Hit the spot for me. I have never loved a book from the first chapter. And then, this is not a spoiler, the book is called It Ends With Us. So clearly, first of all, it's a romance. You cannot be in love if there isn't another party involved. I mean, you can have self-love, but in a book, romance, there are 2 people, you know. So obviously, it either ends, like either the relationship ends or something else ends. Throughout the whole book, I'm trying to figure out what ends and with who, because there's more than 2 people in the book. So you were trying to figure out it ends with who, like what, like, oh my goodness. So this hits different. Once you read that last sentence, you will not only love the book that much more, but you will love the title that much more. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I definitely recommend this for seriously everybody. If somebody said, what is one book you would want everybody on earth to read, it would be this one. And I know that sounds a bit extreme, but I'm telling you. That is all I'm going to say without spoiling anything else. I will be talking about other things in the book that can be considered spoilers. So go to this time. I'll put the time right here. Go to that time if you do not want to hear any spoilers. I want to give a trigger warning, which could be considered a spoiler. The themes of this book are domestic violence and abusive relationships. If that even slightly makes you uncomfortable, do not buy this book. It goes into detail, and babe, when I tell you I have never cried more while reading a book. It gets ugly, but the book and the story is so beautiful regardless of it. And it really does touch on how people that are outside of situations look at people inside the situations so differently. This book is fiction, but it talks about some real life stuff, and that is why I don't see this as fiction. I get it though, the characters are fake, cool, but the principle of this book is serious, is a real life topic. The girl, the main character, Lily Blossom Bloom, all flowers. The shop that she wanted to own, her little business, it's a flower shop. It's a flower shop. I'm done spoiling. Once I put the book down, I picked it up again. Seriously, I just went to the, bro, I was at Barnes and Noble 2-3 hours ago. I went there, saw the book, picked it up, sat down, and started reading it again. I was actually about to buy the book again just so that I can help this author. Also, I do want to say, if you skipped the spoiler, there are trigger warnings, so just do your research on this book. I know the cover looks pretty and you probably think it's all innocent inside, but baby, little do you know. So now I'm going to review very shortly, because I know I've been talking for like 10-20 minutes now. I'm going to tell you guys the things that I heard and read about. Some people complain about the book and they say that it's cheesy. If I didn't hear somebody else say it's cheesy, I wouldn't have considered it cheesy. I'm looking back, I'm like, okay, I see how that is cheesy. For example, her name and the way it kind of connects to her life, I see how that is cheesy. But the thing is, everything in this book that is cheesy, there is a intention behind it to make it cheesy, to make it silly, just to make it like, Like, bruh. Some people find it corny and can't read through it, but there are very little things in this book that are cheesy. I also recommended one of this author's books to somebody at a bookstore, and they actually bought it. It was a dude. But anyways, if you cannot handle a little bit of corniness, then I still would say read it. Like, get over yourself, please. Like, go read this, okay? Okay, I'm done for that. The next book I will be talking about, it's also a book that was on TikTok a lot, and it is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I heard so many good things about it, which is why I picked it up. 3 out of 5, 7 out of 10. To be fair, more people love it than hate it. All the reviews that I've heard are just so good. Like, people rave about it how I was raving about It Ends With Us. Really, really, really good reviews. I am not 1% that just did not really enjoy it. If you want to read it, I'd still say go read it. It isn't horrible, it just wasn't up my alley. A girl named Poppy works at a business and she isn't happy. She spent all her life wanting this one thing, this one job, and she finally got it, and she isn't satisfied anymore, because in life you want something so bad, you get it, and it's like, okay, now what? That's why people say the journey is more important than the destination, because once you get what you want, you have it. Move on now, you know? She got to that point, someone asked her, what makes you truly happy? And it was traveling, meeting new people, which hence why the name's People We Meet on Vacation. There's a guy named Alex. They were homies for a long time. Then something happened. They haven't seen each other in a while. They rekindle. They have a week to fix everything. It just goes from there, and it will take you back in time. So it'll be present day, then it will be 10 years ago. It'll be present day 9 years ago, present day 8 years ago, which I kind of got tired of. I like books that go back in time, but I did not like this one. I do not like how it went back in time, because it was legitimately January 2019, January 2018. I like it to have a cool transition. For example, Colleen Hoover, a lot of her transitions are through letters. She will be in 2021, and one of the characters will find a letter that she wrote, or a journal that she wrote in 2004. So it'll transition into 2004 through a journal. It's a cool transition. This one was just one chapter 2021, next chapter 2017. I didn't like that. Definitely knocked down a whole point for that. Also, another reason why I'm taking down a full point for this book is because we as the readers have no idea why these two people broke up, or just like a friendship. They weren't dating, they were just friends, and they stopped talking for a specific reason. We don't know that until damn near the end of the book. It was dragged on for so damn long. Even if the author kept the storyline and made the reader have to read the whole book to find out what happened, I feel like even then she could have done better with having us wait. It took me a minute to read it, probably like a week, which normally takes me a day or two to read a book. So that's another reason why I knocked down a point. Also, the reason these two people stopped being friends wasn't significant enough for me, because first of all, I don't even remember why, but I do remember when I found out what happened, it was so pointless, very anticlimactic. So there goes another point. I would still say go read it if you like books that go back in time and go back in the present moment. If you like a book that talks about traveling, if you like a book with a bit of romance, I will give her another try, because I don't hate the book enough to never read this author again. Next book, I need to go cut up some onions and green onions and pickles, and I need to just go cook, but I will do that later. Next book is The Unhoneymooned by Christina Lauren. I love this book. However, unlike every other book I have read, I did not go into this book blind. I knew something about this book, which most people do not consider a spoiler, but to me it is a spoiler. That is why I am knocking down this rating to a 4 out of 5, a 9 out of 10. Now, I will say what it is, so if you even slightly do not, if you just don't want to know anything, then skip to this time right here, okay? I was watching a video and the girl was talking about how this book is a enemies to lovers. That is a spoiler to me, because while I am reading, I am just waiting for the point where they make up, fall in love, have some kids, live the rest of their life like my mom and dad. That's seriously what I was waiting for this whole book. If I went into this book blind, you guys, I would have given this book a 10 out of 10. I love her writing style. Some books, the writing styles are so different and I'm not used to it, or it's just not up my alley, so I have to read it a bit slower. But this one, it's literally the writing style that I like, so I was just going. Another thing I really like about this book, and another thing that just in general about books I love, is when authors, they will describe characters enough but not too much. They leave just enough to the imagination, so I'm able to picture who I want as the character. I was at Barnes & Noble like 2-3 hours ago. I'm there every day. That's where you can catch me if you want to find me. Book, I was actually reading It Ends With Us for the 10th time, and I also got another book that I just wanted to try out. I was on the second page. They are describing, not a person, but they were describing a place so detailed. They literally described it to the point where I could not make it up on my own, and I really love using my imagination. I love when the characters look the way I want them to look and only give it very little description. So this book did that for me. The book follows a girl named Olive. Yeah, Olive Garden. No, Olive. She's a twin, and she's the unlucky twin. Everything goes bad for her, but for once, the other twin has something that goes bad. She's at a wedding, something happens, and so now Olive's sister cannot go to her honeymoon. Oh, also, there's something about this book at the end where it's like, bro, I was not expecting that. And it didn't really shock me until after I read it. I'm like, wait, that happened? But anyway, something happens at the wedding. She can no longer go with her husband to the honeymoon. So Olive goes to the honeymoon, but she has to go with this guy that she just does not like. So they spend this beautiful honeymoon. They're at, what is it, Miami, or like, I don't know, somewhere tropical. It takes you through that and how that went. It doesn't go back in time or anything like that. It stays in the present day and it explains exactly what happens. It doesn't go back and tell you why they don't like each other. It tells you a little bit in the beginning about their relationship and why, and not really why, but sort of. Such a cool book. I love it. I actually bought a book by, I actually got it today. Same author. She really likes yellow. Because I really liked this, I actually just got a book by Christina Lauren today. I do remember seeing a couple bad things, but I think it was from people that just didn't get the point of the book. So I ain't even gonna throw in other people's reviews. Like, take my word for it, go read it. It's a cute romance. And this book made me laugh a couple times. And it's witty and downright hilarious. This quote right here, literally, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, wait. Okay, before I say what I just realized, this quote right here, it says witty and downright hilarious. That is the perfect description of this book. But I just realized that it is by an author, and I have a book. Let me show y'all. Who is that? I have a book. I'm also reading this. This is actually the first time I'm reading 2 books at once. But anyway, the person that quoted this is the girl that wrote this book. Go get this book, pick it up, The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren. You will not regret it. I will be reading more of her books. There's something about her books, I will not be saying why, but there's something about her books that I just love. And 9 out of 10 for The Unhoneymooners, simply because I went into it knowing something that I considered a spoiler. Okay, I am gone. I need to close this. Ooh, I'll be back, y'all. I look crazy. This camera quality is trash because I'm on my computer, but I never made an outro. I was going to finish this video the next day with a couple more books, but the video is already long enough. I feel like I look crazy. Anyways, please make sure to subscribe. You are not really losing anything. You are only gaining a new YouTuber, which you hopefully enjoy watching. Turn on the little bell thing so you'll be notified when I upload. Also, let me know if you guys have any names for the channel. I'm thinking about just keeping it as Mreads. The letter M reads. It's just a short sentence that says that I read, because the M stands for my name. Anyways, give the video a thumbs up. Comment down below your favorite book. It does not have to be one of the books that I mentioned, but I'm just curious, what is your favorite book that you have read? And if you have read any of the books that I mentioned, did you like them? Did you hate them? And let me know. Comment. I want to communicate with you guys. I want to talk about books with people. So if you see this, comment. Let's be homies. All right, I am done. I look crazy. I'll see y'all in the next video. Love and light.